Welcome back. Opening day 2029 is indeed here. But first, a quick review of where the league is at and where our team is at going into 2029. First, a quick look at my GM report card. My best trade still remains that 2024 trade when we got Kyle Isbell, and you'll recall I also flipped Isbell in a nice deal as well after that. Worst trade, definitely the Mason Miller trade. So far, Mason Miller has put up 8.8 F-WAR, although I will point out the ERA... it's good. It's above average. It's not insane. And he will be a free agent after this season, whereas Vinny Pasquantino, who we traded him for, still 1 year after this season. So we'll see how that turns out. But I would say, I didn't think he had 50 control at the time, or else I probably would have been more willing to use him out of the rotation despite the stamina and the fragility. Yeah, he's fragile, but he has not gotten hurt. He has posted, which I didn't expect. Some other nice acquisitions. Ronan Kopp, I think, has been a huge one. Actually, I got Ronan Kopp for Kyle Isbell. So Kyle Isbell, kind of the MVP of this series in a certain way. Kyle Isbell, Joey Ortiz, and DL Hall have given us at least 5 WAR, although DL Hall, a disconnect between the WAR and the ERA generally, almost similar to what I was talking about with Mason Miller. But yeah, that's the GM report card. This is not going to be a full prospect check-in by any means, but I do want to point out a trio of guys of AAA who are knocking on the door of the big leagues. Eric Segura, our 2026 second rounder, a pitcher, is definitely part of the starting pitching depth chart for now. Eric Ackerman, he's just waiting for one of the middle infielders to mess up. He's going to be a great sort of utility infielder for us. I think he could play all over the infield for us. I'm excited about him. We have a similar player in Double-A as well. And Chris Baker is the one I'm most excited about. Of all the guys I've drafted, he's the guy I'm like, yeah, he'll probably be a pretty good big leaguer. And he's just sort of waiting for, Devin Taylor to fail or Denzel Clark to get traded, and then he will get his chance. He will start the season in AAA. Because of the recent signing of Juan Bustillos, we now boast a top 5 farm system, 4th to be exact, with Bustillos, Kevin Skeet, our first rounder last year, Castellanos, Cuvée, who's going to start in the majors this year, and Chris Baker representing our top 100 prospects. And I am trying to keep you up to date on the goings-ons around the league, so this is sort of an off-season trade review. Cleveland received Shota Imanaga in a trade in exchange for some prospects. That was definitely a salary dump on the part of the San Francisco Giants. Yankees fans, shield your eyes. Anthony Volpe is now an Atlanta Brave. The Yankees signed him to a big contract extension, and then I guess they wanted out. So some light return, I would say, prospect-wise. Not too bad. But here's the contract for Volpe. So he's going to be a Brave for a while, and he still remains a very good player. I would say those were the 2 main noteworthy trades from this offseason, and we'll check in on the preseason predictions. We are projected to win 72 games this year. That's bad, but also finish 3rd in the division. That's not terrible, I guess. The projections like JP Sears, which is fun because this is his contract year, the last year of his extension. Ricky Tiedemann, your projected best pitcher in the American League. He's a strikeout machine. And Wyatt Langford, projected best hitter, projected best team in the American League, the Red Sox, projected best team in both the National League and the league itself, the Cincinnati Reds. So watch out for those Cincinnati Reds led by Ellie De La Cruz. And now we are indeed ready to face off against the Cleveland Guardians, who have been a real powerhouse throughout this save. It'll be a good test for us on opening day. Let's see how the new-look Oakland Athletics can do. This lineup is absolutely stacked with lefties, so I'm glad we have DL Hall on the mound. He'll face off against Khalil Watson. I love this little flyover they do. I think it's so cute. Let's just see how this at-bat versus Watson goes to start the season. The 1-2 pitch is a strikeout. Next up, Bo Naylor, also a lefty. He's going to hit one. Looks like it's going to be caught by Mears. And that brings up Jimenez, also a lefty on full count. And he walks. We worked on that control with Hall. We'll see how that goes. Josh Young, hey, your brother's in this game. Oh, and Josh Young says, yes, but I'm big bro, and that's little bro. A home run. Wow, a monster home run, 456, to put Cleveland up 2-0 here in the first. Back to the top of the order here with Khalil Watson. Second time through. Gets the strikeout. Bo Naylor. Oh, and Bo Naylor crushes one. That is going to be long gone as well. That one is 438. So 2 second deck shots by Cleveland give them a 3-0 lead. And Andres Jimenez here on 3-1. Thankfully, that will be caught by Clark out there in center, it appears. So 2 away. That brings up Josh Young, who homered in his previous bat. And that one's going to be a fly out to left. So not a great start for Hall. Spencer Torkelson leading off the bottom of the 5th. Still looking for his first hit as an Oakland A. And that's going to be just off the top of the wall. Barely missed a homer there, but it will be a double. This is our first real scoring threat of the game so far, I'd say. Devin Taylor up next. Strikes out looking on the 1-2 pitch. Joey Ortiz. He hits this one hard. Will it stay in? Yes, it will. Torkelson thought about tagging, but he remains at second with 2 outs for Noah Miller. Miller hits this one to left, and that ends the scoring threat. Through 5, the score's still 3-0. Top of the 6th, we're going to warm up Jacob Lopez just because he's a lefty. We don't have that many lefties in the pen. They're mostly in the rotation, so that's going to be tough with this lineup to deal with as the game goes along. Gets the first out there. Now facing Andres Jimenez, who is going to get a single just over the head of Miller. Okay. That brings up Josh Young. Scary at bat right here. And we walk him. Okay. Yeah, I think this is when I bring in Jorge Lopez. So DL Hall, 5 1/3. He's responsible for these 2 runners and allowed 3 to score. But that will be time for Jacob Lopez. And I will also get, let's get like a Miguel Ulola. Or don't know how to say his name. Jacob Lopez. Yes, get the double play ball. Beautifully done. Nicely done by me. Great substitution. We're on to the bottom of the 6th with Reese McGuire leading off. Looks like it's going to be a base hit up the middle, so number 9 gets on base, and now we're back to the top of the order. Tristan McKenzie. Pasquantino hits this one hard. We've had some hard hit balls, but they've all managed to stay in the park. That's one away. Brings up Denzel Clark. Clark also hard hit to center. Oh, get out ball. It will not get out, but it looks like it will be a double to center. Will it score McGuire? Nope. We will have runners on 2nd and 3rd for Jace Young. Could come up big here in this game. His first game with Oakland. That's a fly out to left. McGuire is tagging, and that will be our first run of the season. That makes the score 3-1. Josh Mears now with 2 outs. Get through. Nope. Fielded by the 3rd baseman. So we only get the 1 run to score. All right, we definitely need a rally here. Noah Miller could be the man to start it. Nope. That one is hit to center. Nice catch by Thomas in center. Reese McGuire. Just going to send that one over to the shortstop. McKenzie still in this game to face Vinny Pasquantino. And Pasquantino will get a single up the middle. Will they go to the bullpen now? They will. It'll be Christian Mania to face Denzel Clark, representing the tying run. First pitch swinging. And that's not the home run I was hoping for. We're on to the 9th. So we're 1 out away from reaching the bottom of the 9th, and we're going to need at least 2 runs, 3 to walk it off, facing Kerry Carpenter. And that's going to be a strikeout, so nice job by Arrighetti. Nice job by the bullpen in general in this game, but we need the runs now. Those runs will have to come off Matt Brash, and it'll be Jace Young to lead off the 1-2. Hits it hard to second base, but that's fielded by Jimenez. 1 out. Josh Mears up next. Swinging first pitch. That's hit well. That could get out. And it will. We've got a 1-run ball game. Josh Mears with a home run here in the bottom of the 9th to make it 3-2. All right. Let's see it, Torkelson. 0-2 pitch. Strikes out. So we are down to our final out facing off against Matt Brash. It's going to be Devin Taylor, who has not had a good game up to this point. Full count. And he strikes out. His 4th strikeout of the game. And we lose 3-2 to Cleveland on opening day. Bullpen did a really nice job. Hall actually got together pretty well after a rough first few innings, but Tristan McKenzie was a little too much for us today. The offense was not doing much for us either, and we lose 3-2. April 9th, really rough start to the season for us, guys. We are 1-8. You can see most of the lineup is batting below 200. In fact, as a team, we are hitting 195, and Noah Miller is going to be out for 5 to 6 weeks. I think the call-up is going to be Eric Ackerman. So we will put Miller on the injured list. We will call up Ackerman. This is, I guess, somewhat exciting in the sense that a draftee is making the big leagues for us yet again. And Ackerman will just slide right in. Everything that Noah Miller did for us, we will ask the same of Eric Ackerman. I do want to point out Devin Taylor, and I hate to single him out, but a miserable start to the season, and his days in the lineup and in the majors and in our future may be numbered. 1-9 now. Tell me what you think will happen first. Draft pool announcement or second win? Leave your bets down in the comments. Ooh, extra innings loss. That's a new type of loss. Yeah, just kind of blew it. Ronan Kopp has had a rough start to the season. Yeah, 4 runs in the 10th. All right, now we play versus Texas again. 1-11. This feels like a low point. And we did it. We won a baseball game. 14-6 versus the Texas Rangers. May 1st, we are 9-20. That is the worst record in the American League. We have had some nice wins. We had like a 16-0 win against Cleveland the second series we played them. But overall, things not looking good. And I think, given that we're exactly 1 month into the season, I think it's a good time to sort of rearrange things. We will start with Devin Taylor, and I know 76 plate appearances isn't the hugest sample, but I think it's safe to say this guy's no good. This guy's no good. This guy's probably not going to be a good everyday player for us, and he's probably not going to be a good everyday player in the majors, so we're going to send him down to AAA. That's the first thing we'll do. Our corresponding move will be to call up Kevin Bizzell. This is the guy we traded for, and after a little bit of research is starring for Texas Tech in real life now. But Kevin Bizzell will get called up just to be a utility guy. Pitching-wise, Brady Basso has been terrible, and I think he's kind of doing this every other year thing. His stuff is down to a 35 on the 20-80 scale, so he's just not getting any strikeouts anymore. It's been a really fun run with him at times. It's been not fun at other times, but we're going to send him down to AAA. I don't even know if he has the option. Let's see what happens here if we try to demote him. Okay, yeah, so we're going to have to waive and DFA him, and that's going to be the end of the Brady Basso era in Oakland, most likely. And the corresponding call-up is going to be Eric Segura. Eric Segura, our 2026 second rounder. Welcome to the show for the first time. We're going to go ahead and put Frank Trejo into the rotation. That'll leave Eric Segura in that long relief role. And this is how we're going to line it up. In Devin Taylor's absence, we're going to have Torkelson play left field versus right-handed pitching, which will open up DH for Nathan Martorella, and we'll just see how that one goes. May 24th, we are 18-32. That stinks through the first 50 games of the season. It's time for Noah Miller to come back, which means Eric Ackerman will be sent back down to AAA. I think Ackerman is going to factor into the future for us, but he needs some seasoning. We gave Nathan Martorella a little run in the lineup post-Devin Taylor demotion, and he has not done very much with it either, so we're going to rearrange things once again. So here's how we're going to line up for right now. Noah Miller returns to the lineup, and Daniel Cuvée will bat versus right-handed pitching now. We've had him primarily versus left-handed pitching, and he's been so far maybe our best hitter this year. So he gets a shot at right-handed pitching. He'll play first base. That makes Pasquantino DH. He'll continue to play third base versus left-handed pitching to make room for Jed Fabian in the outfield, Torkelson at first base. So that's how we're going to do things for now. Martorella, we may end up having to DFA because he is out of options. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to waive Nathan Martorella. We kind of knew what we were getting into when we traded for him in the first place. And I'm not going to bring up Chris Baker, which is probably what you'd like to see. I'm going to bring up Chris Newell. Chris Newell is doing pretty well for us in AAA. He was a minor league free agent signing, and I think we could use another outfielder just in case. June 1st, 22-35. This is probably a good time for a prospect check-in for us. We can check on Castellanos, who actually started in the Arizona Complex League because their season starts earlier. Not doing well. It's kind of interesting. Still projected to be a very, very good player, although the avoid case is going to be a problem, but has not really performed in the minors so far. This is his third professional season with us, but still only 19 years of age. Moving up into A and I suppose high A, Kevin Skeet, who was our first rounder last year. We've gotten some sort of bad scouting reports on him. He's down to a 3-star potential. His stuff isn't as nasty as it first appeared. So looking more like a middle of the rotation arm rather than a top of the rotation arm, which is kind of a bummer. But performing well in high A this year so far to start the season. He'll remain in high A. Connor Griffin also doing well in high A, our 2027 second rounder. I think we're probably ready to move him up to Double A. That's a big jump to make, but the ratings look good. He's already a 60 power on the 20-80 scale, although he doesn't look like he's going to get much better than that. But yeah, we'll go ahead and promote him to Double A. So he goes to Double A. At the Double A level, we also have Jesus Guevara, who is our 2027 seventh rounder. He's a player similar to Ackerman, and I think he will join Ackerman in Triple A. after doing well in AA to start the year. He could be in the majors at some point this year. He and Ackerman, to me, are similar, very similar players. And then Chris Baker is who we're kind of waiting on to come take over an outfield spot eventually. Not having the greatest start to a season in AAA, though, so we'll probably have to wait on him to start getting hot. June 8th, we are 25 and 38. I am going to make a tweak to the rotation as well. Gunnar Hoglund just has not been good for us. His ERA is over 6 through 12 starts. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have him and Segura swap places, therefore swapping their roles. And Gunnar Hoglund will be sort of in that long relief, low leverage role and an emergency starter if needed. June 13th, I am going to make another tweak. Daniel Cuvée has really cooled off since we let him start facing righties, so I think we're going to leave him more as a platoon bat, let him face primarily lefties, and that's going to cause a little shakeup in the lineup. So in that scenario, we will swap Torkelson to first base from left field. We will remove Cuvée, and I want to throw in Chris Newell. I like his ratings a lot, actually. I do think he could hit for some power and maybe some walks as well. He's, only 6 plate appearances for us at the big league level so far, but he did well at AAA, and he's going to kind of serve the Devin Taylor role of that left-handed hitting outfielder versus right-handed pitching. I do want to shout out Josh Mears as well. He's been our best hitter this year, 19 homers, pacing for 45, also pacing for over 200 strikeouts again, but hey, he's slugging over 500. The other guy that probably needs a shout-out is Christian Montez de Oca. Not the craziest peripherals or anything, but he's allowed 1 run in 22 innings so far for a .40 ERA or a 1,088 ERA+. And just as I say that, the very next game, Josh Mears is injured with diagnosis pending. We extended him this past offseason. Let's hope it's not a heartbreaker. All right, we lose that game 10-1 and still injured. Out 1 week. Okay, we're all right. We're all right. We're going to throw Mears on the 10-day injured list, but we're glad it's not anything more than that. And Devin Taylor is hurt with a hamstring strain, so we can't call him up, which means we really don't have great options to call up. The best option clearly is Chris Baker, but he's a guy that when I call him up, I want him to stay, if that makes sense. So I'm going to call up Enrique Bradfield Jr., though I will say he has no options, so we will have to DFA him in order to maybe send him down to the minors again. In the meantime, we will call upon Judd Fabian to take the spot of Mears. Denzel Clark is the guy who really needs to get it going right now. We're paying him $6.5 million. He's in his ARB years, and the wheels have just come off for him. He's been absolutely dreadful, sub-replacement level this year, and his expectation is now bench player. He doesn't see himself as a starter even, so we'll have to see how that turns out, but his days may be numbered. June 26th, we are 34 and 46. Here is John Fisher with our midseason review of goals. Overall, not too happy with our goals. The best we've done is with the building the farm. He says we're still not quite a top 6 system, and I think that's because we lost Cuvée in the sense that we graduated him. So, we've been graduating prospects, and when you graduate prospects, then they're not prospects anymore, and they can't help your farm system rankings. I know, kind of dumb, right? Because we were 4th preseason, but for him, it's still not a top 6 system as of right now. However, despite the fact that I haven't really done the things he wants me to do, still satisfied with my progress, we'll just see how things go for the second half of the season. The obvious thing kind of wrong with this team is that half of our positions haven't really hit. Our catchers don't hit. Reese McGuire doesn't hit. Our middle infielders don't hit. They play great defense. Don't get me wrong, but they don't hit. Left field hasn't hit for us whatsoever. This is Chris Newell's stats. You remember Devin Taylor's stats. They weren't good either. And Denzel Clark, who's really supposed to be a decent hitter, has been anything but. So we're waiting on Chris Baker, but he's not exactly killing it in AAA. But yeah, I am, licking my chops because hopefully he can help out at some point this season. Mears is ready to come back. He did have a minor setback with his injury, but he's good to go now as of June 27th, which is good news for us. I think I'm going to send down Bradfield, who will have to DFA because he's out of options. And I actually think I'll leave in Judd Fabian in the outfield for now because Chris Newell has not been getting the job done. Albeit, we've only let him have 11 starts, but they were not 11 good starts, that's for sure. So we've got Mears back installed in the lineup. That should definitely help things. But another tweak I'm going to make involves Jaden Melendez. Jaden Melendez has gotten hot, and he is clearly out-hitting Reese McGuire. So instead of this platoon I've been having, where McGuire faces right-handed pitching and Melendez faces left-handed pitching, we're just going to have Melendez be the catcher, the starting catcher, and McGuire will spell him when he's tired. It's July 1st. We are 38 and 46, which, considering we started 1 and 11, not too bad, right? That means we've been playing above 500 ball since at least, and we're only 5 games behind the division lead because the division isn't very good. So that's good news too. July has been a struggle for us throughout this save, so we'll just have to see how this month goes. But some good news, Eric Segura is the Rookie of the Month. He is a draftee who is now in our rotation. Like, that's something, you know? That means I drafted and developed somebody, right? And Carter Griffin, who we promoted to AA a month ago, tearing it up. And the strikeouts, you know, that's not going to play at the big league level necessarily for us, but he's a great defender. He's a phenomenal defender. He'll be a phenomenal center fielder. He has good personality traits, and he may be ready for promotion to AAA. I think that may be the move, considering, you know, 14 home runs in 25 games. And yeah, let's give him AAA. Let's do that now. More good news. Since returning to the lineup, Josh Mears has homered in each of the last 3 games. July 11th, we are 42-50, and it is time for the first-year draft. However, that being said, it is also time for the end of this episode, so thank you for watching. We will return back in the next episode with this draft, where we will be picking 14th.